Right. What's up, peace, family? How are y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing great. Welcome back to Venus Intuition. If you are new, welcome. This channel was formerly named Earth Goddess TV. I changed the name recently to Venus Intuition. You'll see that in one of the previous videos. I didn't really go into detail why, because there was really no particular reason. But I am back with another upload, and today we're going to talk about the planets and the herbs, and basically how you can use planets and herbs based on your zodiac chart to either heal or cure certain illnesses that you feel that you want to work on. So, before I get into the video about the planets and the herbs, I wanted to kind of put my disclaimer out there so people won't look at this video and get confused or think that, I'm trying to present myself as a medical professional or XYZ. I'm not. I say that to say I'm not a medical professional or anything like that. And usually when I make videos like this, it's strictly for an informative basis. And I encourage you to further do your research and consult with your local physician or personal doctor before you take any advice from anyone off the internet, especially when it comes to alternative medicine, alternative healing, just period. Now, for me, I feel safe to talk about this topic just based on my personal pull for always having interest in alternative medicine, specifically herbs, and how I can use herbs to cure different things within the body. I further got the confirmation of why I always felt this pull through my birth chart. So that was further confirmation to go ahead and to further expand my knowledge on herbs and the benefits they can have when you're trying to, say, work with certain illnesses or ease certain things within the body. So again, do your own research. Every herb and everything does not work for everyone. You may be a tonic person, you may need tinctures, so it's always good to do your research. Just because it's considered healthy doesn't mean it's for your body. So you have to be discerning when you take advice and you hear information. So I didn't want to ramble too much about that. Let's go ahead and get into basically the planets and the herbs. So just like the planets, herbs have their own personality as well, and they can also perform and work well under certain astrological influences to heal or ease certain illnesses based on your personal planet aspects within your birth chart. So again, like I say, do your own research. Everything is not for everyone. Understand your body, understand what works and what does not work. So again, use your discernment when you're intaking any information. So let's go ahead. I wanted to do all of the planets and basically herbs that you can use associated with these planets. Now, I just named a few different herbs. I didn't name every single herb that could be associated with particular planets, because this is just prompting you to go further, do the research, and look at more herbs that may be more in tune and alignment with your physical makeup. So keep that in mind as I'm listing herbs. So when you're dealing with the sun, the sun is associated with our physical body, our ego, our consciousness. So, and the body of the sun will be responsible for our energy levels, our heart functions, our circulation, our vitality. So when I think about the sun and herbs that would be associated and good with working with your sun, say if you have any hard aspects to your sun, you would definitely want to look at some of these herbs and see if they can have any use any of these herbs to cure any illnesses that you may be suffering with. So some of the herbs are yellow dock, calendula flower, and I personally use that. That's a very good one. Chamomile, sunflower, angelica, St. John's wort, orange peel, and caladine. Now again, these herbs are especially good if you have any hard aspects to your sun. It says, like I say, especially if your sun is like in the 6th house, you have any hard aspects to that sun, you would definitely want to drink some teas with probably some of these herbs in it. And again, there are many other herbs you can use for the sun, and plus look at your birth chart and your aspects to see, okay, what you can use. The next one I want to go to is your moon. So the moon is associated with our emotions, how we express those emotions, our intuition, who we are on a soul level. So in the body, the moon is responsible for, of course, you guessed it, our body fluids, our water retention, our blood flow, our cellular moisture, our digestive motion, our hormone levels. So, ladies, if your hormone levels are off, look at some herbal teas that have certain herbs in them to help with that. So, herbs that will be associated with the moon are lotus, moonwort, willow, wild yam, and this wild yam is specifically for hormone balancing, anise, iris, cucumber, and moonflower. Now, I did also mention willow. Willow is good for any pain. So if you're in pain, willow, it definitely would ease that willow root. So again, like I mentioned before, for the sun, any hard aspects to the moon, just anything dealing with, say, imbalance in hormone levels, maybe digestive motions, these herbs will work really good for that. The next planet I want to jump into is our Mercury. Now, our Mercury is for our communication, our intellect, our mental space. So in the body, the Mercury is responsible for our automatic functions in the body, like our breathing, our blinking, our sweating, the digestive movements, sexual arousal. So when you're dealing with Mercury, herbs that would be great for Mercury, of course, lavender. A lot of people use lavender for a calming and soothing effect for before when they go to sleep. They have, I believe you can have lavender tea as well. Some people buy it, some people make it fresh with the actual lavender flower. Fennel is good for your digestive support. Marjoram, now I've seen this herb. I haven't personally worked with it, but I've seen that herb a lot, and it's called marjoram. And the next one is southernwood and crocus. And the last one I want to bring up is centella. Now, again, look at your birth chart and look and see if you have any aspects to your Mercury. These herbs would definitely help within that. Any aspects to Mercury, these herbs can help definitely say with maybe stability and also clarity as well. That's what I mentioned, the lavender. Some people use that for clarity and memory and things like that. It is a very great herb for that. Our next planet we can jump into is Venus. Of course, Venus is associated with our love, our pleasure, our indulgence, our beauty. Now, within the body, Venus is responsible for our senses, our touch, our taste, our smell, of course, hearing, our skin texture, our complexion, the regulation of sugar levels, carbohydrates within the body, the throat. Basically, Venus' job is to ensure harmony between all of the systems of the body, reproductive health, and just like the transformation of these things as well. Now, Venus and herbs associated with Venus, hibiscus. I personally use hibiscus. It's very good. I like drinking the tea. I like also working with the herb itself. It's very good for reproductive health. Red raspberry leaf is good as well. Rose hips, lady's mantle. Now, if you want to deal with herbs that are more dealing with like beauty and things like that, say if you're into beauty spells, you can use lang lang, rose. Also check the position on your chart and see where your Venus is. The next planet I want to jump into is, of course, Mars. And Mars is our war planet, our action planet, basically our planet of passion and strength. So, in the body, Mars is responsible for our red blood cells, sexual organs, muscular system, our motor nerves. Basically, Mars is basically known as the red planet. That's why it is responsible for the red blood cells within the body. So, herbs associated with Mars, we have, of course, cayenne, tobacco, needle, wormwood, belladonna, buck's bush, devil's claw root. The next planet we can get into is Jupiter. And Jupiter is, of course, responsible for our good luck, our fortune, our growth, our expansion. Now, in the body, Jupiter is responsible for our liver, our pancreas, our production of insulin, our spleen, our kidney, our fat tissue, the thighs, and the buttock. So, Jupiter and herbs associated with Jupiter is hyssop, jasmine, Oregon grapefruit, which is a really good one, colt's foot, dandelion, rose. Now these herbs can help with regulation and basically resetting certain functions within the body. Now the Oregon grapefruit, I can say, it has multiple uses because I know also Oregon grapefruit is good for like the skin as well. So not too much about that. The next Saturn. Next planet I want to get into is the planet of Saturn. Saturn is, of course, our discipline planet of lessons, structure, time, limitations. In the body, Saturn is responsible for our skeletal system, our bones, our bone density, distribution of calcium, our teeth, our nails, our joints. So Saturn and herbs associated with Saturn is horsetail, which is good for bone health. Goutwort, if I'm saying that right, goutwort. This is good for arthritis. And I think it's valerian root. I'm probably botching the name all up. You can tell I haven't used that herb. The next one is Solomon's Seal, comfrey, black walnut, and holly. So the goutwort is also good for arthritis. I probably mentioned that. The next planet I want to jump into is Uranus. Now, Uranus is our unconventional, our rebellious, our eccentric, unpredictable planet. Now, in the body, Uranus is responsible for our nervous system, our respiratory functions, basically our lungs, diaphragm, trachea, bronchial tubes, and herbs that is associated with Uranus. The ginkgo root, which is very popular, nutmeg, star anise, clove, blue chamomile, and gotu kola. Now that's one also another herb I see around a lot. I personally have not tried this herb out. I'll probably try it out. Just haven't figured out what I would use it for. But I'm kind of curious about it, so that's the herb I'll look into. It's a gotu kola. It's spelled Gotukola. So the next planet I want to jump into is Neptune. Now Neptune is basically our fantasy, dreams, illusions, spirituality, delusions, intuition. So in the body, Neptune is responsible for our endocrine glands, which is our thyroid, our pituitary, our adrenal, and basically it helps with the lymphatic system. So herbs associated with Neptune would be hemp, passion flower, blue lotus, which is, for your third eye, lily of the Nile, ayahuasca, and opium poppies. So I can imagine, like, if you're trying to do any, like, spiritual, like, mental work, these herbs will definitely do very good with that. The only one herbs on this list that I also have experience with, blue lotus and passion flower. I have had experience with those. The last planet I do want to jump into is Pluto, which is our transformation, our regeneration, our rebirth planet. Now, in the body, Pluto rules basically our reproductive organs, the sexual energy. So basically our uterus, our testicles, the movements of the bowels, the vagina, the penis, and basically the excretory systems. So Pluto and Pluto and herbs dealing with Pluto, the planet of Pluto, Damiya root, false unicorn root, which I have to look further into, burdock root, which is very good. That's very good for also cleansing the blood as well. Skull cap, kava kava, and buckwheat, and saw palmetto. I haven't worked with the kava kava root, but it is interesting. I do want to look further into that kava kava root. So excuse me, as I mentioned before, before you use any of these herbs, if you already say not really knowledgeable about herbs and what direction to go, do your own research first. If you already have, say, certain illnesses and ailments and you're concerned, talk to your primary care physician before you try any of these herbs. Again, like I mentioned before in the earlier part of the video, I personally like dealing with herbs because I've always kind of had like an interest in herbs, and when I further had my birth chart read, it kind of was like confirmation to further dig into that for me, just based on my astrological placements. So again, for each planet, I didn't list every single herb that you can use for it. This was kind of just like a layout of herbs that you can use for each planet, and that what should encourage you to do your research and pull out your birth chart and see what aspects you have and what parts of the body that you may want to bring ease to if you're having certain issues. So that is it for my planets and the herbs video, family. I will see you all on the next upload.